The Bucks just did something shocking. They're waiving Damian Lillard. They're getting rid of him to bring in Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers on a 4-year deal. This is how much they're gonna be paying Miles Turner the next 4 years. But the only way they could have done this is by giving up a piece of their salary cap, and they decided that that piece would be Dame. This is one of the more craziest moves in NBA history. We've never seen something like this happen before, where you get rid of your superstar point guard for a solid big man. Miles Turner is not a superstar big. He's a perfect role player big on a championship team. But to get rid of Dame? That's insane. The Milwaukee Bucks are waiving Damian Lillard and stretching the remaining $113 million on his contract in order to acquire Miles Turner. Lillard's 2 seasons in Milwaukee come to an end as he rehabilitates a torn Achilles tendon. So yes, we know that Dame tore his Achilles in the playoffs this year in the first round against the Pacers, and he's not going to play the entire 2025-26 season. But the most interesting part about this report is that Damian Lillard's contract is going to be stretched. And what that means is extremely crucial to the Damian Lillard situation, because basically Dame has all the power in his hands to win a championship. Over the next 5 seasons, even though Damian Lillard is not playing on the Bucks, this is how much the Bucks are going to be paying him, which basically means that whatever team that Damian Lillard goes to, he's going to get the same money he originally signed in his Supermax contract. Dame can go anywhere that he wants, because I'm certain every NBA team would love to sign Dame. Guess for how much? A minimum contract. The catch simply has this: on the deal, wherever Damian Lillard signs, the team that signs him and the contract that he signs, the Bucks are gonna get it reduced to the contract that they're paying him right now. So with that being said, yes, teams are gonna basically offer Dame a minimum contract because they don't want to give the Bucks a discount with this move. League sources say Damian Lillard is elated with the Bucks' decision to waive and stretch his contract, as it puts him in the kind of basketball first position that few all-star level players, if any, have experienced in league history. In short, he'll be able to join the contending team of his choosing, either sometime soon or perhaps next summer, without the financial aspect of the decision playing a significant part. If you don't know what elated means, elated basically means he's excited, he's happy, because Dame now holds all the cards in his hands and he can put himself in a best case scenario. So where is Dame gonna go now? We have to go back in history, because Dame has always been vocal that he wants to play with the Miami Heat. The Heat, this is no surprise, are expected to have interest in Damian Lillard, who very surprisingly now holds a lot of cards he didn't expect to hold. Dame has always been vocal that he wanted to play in Miami, especially with Bam Adebayo, but also at the same time with Jimmy Butler. And now with Jimmy Butler not on the roster, the Heat are also in kind of an interesting situation. They just lost Duncan Robinson in free agency. Of course, they got rid of Jimmy Butler last year. I'm not sure if Miami is Dame's first priority, because they're not as competitive anymore after shipping off Jimmy. It's up to Dame, and it's on his timetable, because there is no rush whatsoever. Dame should join the Denver Nuggets. This would be an ideal situation for Dame, where he can still compete in the 2027 season and land himself on a winning team. Damian Lillard's game would just fit Nikola Jokic perfectly, and the best thing Denver has to do is surround Jokic with shooters, and Dame is one of the best ever. The Nuggets have been very busy this offseason so far. They traded Michael Porter Jr. in exchange for Cameron Johnson. They just brought in Jonas Valanciunas as well. They also just signed Tim Hardaway Jr. and brought back Bruce Brown. Bringing in Damian Lillard would just be a cherry on top for the roster, especially after Russell Westbrook just left the team. Even if Dame doesn't play in the 25-26 season, he will be ready to play in the 26-27 season, where the Nuggets will still have their core team. But there's another team keeping a strong eye on Dame, and vice versa. Shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring the channel. Easy Buckets family, if you want to buy cheap tickets, you have to get your cheap tickets on SeatGeek, because they have nearly 30 million downloads. They're a credible app, and they have the best prices you can find anywhere. And then on top of that, on checkout, you can use my discount promo code EasyBuckets with an S at the end to get an extra $20 off your first purchase, make an account on SeatGeek, download the app or go on the website, link is in the bio, and get your cheap tickets today with my discount code. Damian Lillard should go and play with Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves, because I believe the Timberwolves are proven to be one of the best teams in the West, making back-to-back conference finals, and they're already invested in a core team, and Dame would just elevate that roster. Imagine this starting lineup in the 2026-27 season. Dame point guard, Anthony Edwards shooting guard, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. The Wolves are ready to move on from Mike Conley, who of course is a veteran point guard. He's awesome, but he's entering that time in his career where he can't be that elite starter anymore. Dame still has a few years left in his tank, and joining a younger team with a lot of potential is where Dame can bring his experience and also elevate their offense. But Giannis is not happy about what just happened with Damian Lillard, his partner. For what it's worth, the Greek Freak is reportedly not pleased with the team's decision to waive Lillard, who was supposed to be his co-star for the foreseeable future. The Bucks pulled off a blockbuster deal for Dame in 2023, only to cut ties with him after a terrible injury. Lillard and Giannis played just 3 playoff games together. We haven't really been able to see Dame and Giannis go full throttle for a championship because of injuries. Giannis got injured a few times, Dame just got injured. The Bucks franchise is now in a deep financial hole, which doesn't help the team's roster construction going forward to build a solid team around Giannis. So it's simple, Giannis is not happy Milwaukee, and this raises the case that Giannis should want out. Giannis must request trade after Bucks waived Damian Lillard. Brian Windhorst had a huge report immediately after Dame got waived. If you're a team out there like maybe the San Antonio Spurs or the New York Knicks or the Miami Heat, who were maybe saving up their assets to try to make some sort of Giannis Antetokounmpo run, if the Bucks weren't able to have an impactful free agency, you have to reevaluate how you're now operating over the next few days as well. Because this would be the Bucks starting lineup next year if nothing else happens. Kevin Porter Jr. as point guard, Gary Trent shooting guard, Kyle Kuzma small forward, Giannis and Miles Turner. This is not a championship team in the East. So I want to know your thoughts. Where is Damian Lillard going to go next now? And also, is Giannis going to request a trade? Let's get a chat going in the comments below. But Austin Reeves just made a huge decision, which could have been the biggest risk in his career, because he just declined a contract from the Lakers to get more money in the future. We made a video all about this, that it could be a terrible move. So check it out. But other than that, take it easy, God bless. See y'all next time on Easy Buckets. Peace.